Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
Psalm 149. Praise ye the Lord. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. The Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
Praise ye Yahweh. Sing unto Yahweh. So praising Yahweh, singing to him, right? A new song. And his praise in the congregation of saints, Israelite. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of the remembered ones, to Zion one, be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name, Yahweh, and dance. Let them sing. See, praise and sings in the same sentence. Sing praises unto him with the timbrel and the harp. For Yahweh taketh pleasure in his people, the Israelites. He will beautify the meek, we the meek, with salvation. He's going to save us, the elect. Salvation means for the glory. Let them sing aloud upon thy beds. We're going to be getting up in the morning. So a typical morning in the kingdom, the first coming to America. Akeem, he was in the kingdom of heaven. So that's how we're going to be. You're going to be able to communicate with the animals. And you other nations, number one on the list is going to be you Edomites. You're going to be out in the field, getting your ass whipped, working your ass off.
Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
So we're going to get up in the morning singing. Hey, you're going to get up, you lay with one of your wives or concubines or whatever. So when we get up in the morning, we're going to have a smile on our face. That's what Psalm 149 is talking about. When we get up in the morning, we're going to be singing and dancing. We're going to go to sleep happy. We're going to get up happy. We're going to eat happy.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. All right, and what I want to get into today, real quick and just eat. All right, Esau Edom has a hell of a task. Okay, and what this devil, okay, is trying to pull off. Okay, what the Lord has this devil, trying to pull off is a hell of a task. And this is why we see this man all over the place. He has so much going on at the same time because he has a hell of a task to pull off. Now, I want to get this word task. Okay, just want to get into something before I go to count. But you get this word task. All right, just a simple definition in Google. It says task. It says a piece of work. Okay, all right, to be done or undertaken. All right, it says to labor, a chore. Okay, a duty. Or you go into a verb. It says assign a piece of work to. Okay. So Esau has been assigned to this task, trying to stop, the Israelites from coming back, in the power, okay, to try to control, the heathens of the earth, with this new world order, all right, to bring about, a digital currency, okay, to try to manage, this third world war, okay, to try to find out, the number of stars and, the depths of the sea. Like this devil has been given a hell of a task, man, you know, and the Lord has allowed this man access, to certain technology to where this devil think he has a chance, and this is why, this is, the Lord, okay, this is entertainment, seeing Esau Edom trying to pull this off. Now I want to go here to Jeremiah 31 and 31. It says, "Behold, the days come, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah." Okay, and this is what Esau wants to stop, because this is a covenant of promise from the Most High to a particular lineage, man. And these are, all right, the 12 tribes of Israel, the southern kingdom and northern kingdom. Okay, and then new covenant, which means what? We're going to have rulership, immortality. We're going to be back in our land. And that means these heathens going into captivity. Yahweh Shai is going to be the King of kings in the earth. Okay, the new covenant is nothing but bad news for Esau Edom, because that means his rulership is ended. Okay, and he's going into chattel slavery, and after 1,000 years, he's eradicated. Okay, and this is why the devil, is trying to change people's, DNA, mRNA. He wants to destroy lineages in the earth. That's why he wants to merge, people with machine. He wants to destroy lineage. All right, the concept of lineages and different things, because he's trying to stop this, man. Okay, now when you keep reading, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, when my covenant they break. Although I was an husband unto them, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord, I will put my new, I said, it's like I will put my law in their inward parts, okay, within us. All right, we're going to be, all right, perfected. Those new bodies is Israel perfected, okay, in righteousness, man. And it says, and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, for they shall all know me from the least unto the greatest of them, said the Lord. I will forgive their iniquity and will remember their sin no more. Okay, and this is the new covenant. Okay, when we're perfected, when we don't have to teach, okay, because it's going to be in us. All right, even the 2/3 born in the kingdom, they're going to be born into the new covenant. They're not going to have to be taught. It's going to be in them. Okay, they're going to be born, into those new bodies. You see, and the Lord is going to forgive His people. And see, this is what Esau doesn't want. Esau wants us to be always in bad standings with our power. That's why he pushes a culture of sin and rebellion on our people. Okay, that's why he invests so much, resources, time, okay, in getting our people, to be laden with iniquity. Okay, because he doesn't want us to come into this, man, and he's doing everything he can to stop it, but he's failing because his word is going out, the elect are being edified, prophecies are happening. Okay, everything that the devil is doing is working against him. Okay, so now he's in a position to where he's just going to lose it. Okay, seeing that he had but a short time. All right, now after it spoke about, the new covenant that the Lord would make, with Israel. Okay, it goes into a challenge. Okay, when you go to verse 35, Jeremiah 31 and 35, it said, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Shai, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever." Okay, so the Lord, put a challenge out. He's making a statement. And see, Esau took this as a challenge, and that's why this devil has NASA, and he got these telescopes, and this devil done even shot missiles at the moon. That's this devil trying to take on, okay, this as a challenge, man. Okay, he's always trying to discover the sea, and you best believe he's trying to assign his AI to try to figure these things out. Okay, because Esau think that AI is going to be his saving grace, his edge. Okay, and it says, verse 36 says, "If those ordinances depart from me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me." Because you even have these devils trying to do a fake son. All right. Let's see. I think mainly it's with China. With China's in heavy, collaboration with Esau. Okay, they go way back. Okay, you got these devils trying to block the sun out. Let me see. Trying to build a sun. Let me see if we give us some real quick. Yep. So just look at it, you gotta go deep into it. All right, but real quick. Yeah, Mission Impossible. All right, but you got this guy, you got these Moabites, which they're under the umbrella of Esau. Okay, they said China's artificial sun sets a record towards fusion power generation. The experimental advanced superconducting tokamak, all right, commonly known as China's artificial sun, has achieved a remarkable scientific milestone by maintaining steady state high confinement plasma operation for an impressive 1,066 seconds. So you got Moab, all right, and you can go into it, okay, trying to create, an artificial sun, okay, and then you go here. It says, is it possible to create an artificial sun? It said typically the fuel used to create an artificial sun is based on deuterium and tritium isotopes. Deuterium can be extracted from seawater, while tritium is obtained from lithium. Both elements are abundant in absolute terms and practically infinite compared to uranium. So you got these devils, okay, because this is all done under the watch of Esau Edom. They're trying to make a artificial sun. Okay, they're trying to block out the sun. So they try to shoot missiles at the moon. Let's see. Try to block. So let's see. All right. So you go here, and what does it say? It says scientists are exploring the concept of solar geoengineering, which involve techniques to reflect sunlight away from Earth to counteract global warming, which is BS. All right, it's not for global warming. These devils trying to, all right, fulfill their task. Okay, it said this field encompasses various methods, with the most prominent being stratospheric arsenal injection. All this madness. Like what are you doing? Okay, what is this nigga doing trying to block out the sun? Okay, but this is just to show this is what the devil on. Not to get bogged down into that. Okay, let me see if it shows us with the moon missiles shot at the moon. Let me see. Don't give us much, but it talks about the devil, even trying to shoot at the moon. All right, but we know, he's trying to do an artificial sun, block out the sun, say shoot missiles at the moon. He's constantly trying to see how far he can go in the sea. Okay, So the devil been given a hell of a task. Meanwhile, he trying to stop us from waking up. We up. Even though he got, agents in Israel, that still doesn't stop the prophecy of the remnant, being awakened. It says, if those ordinances depart from me, back in Jeremiah 31 and 36, it says, those ordinances depart from me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus said the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. And this devil is occupied trying to do these things, man. Trying to get to the earth's core. Like he's this is rooted in this. Okay. And then he wants to stop, the awakening. But Yahweh Shai, I already said that there's a remnant that he can't do nothing about. Okay, the sheep of Yahushua, the elect, would be awakened, and there's nothing that can be done about it. Okay, let's go here. Okay, when you go to the book of St. John, chapter, when you go to St. John, chapter 10, all right, in verse 27, it says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Okay, so the voice of Yahushua is spoken through the prophets, and the prophets are here. Okay, and lessons going out, multiple brothers going live, constant, videos going out. Okay, the voice of Yahushua, all right, is getting louder and louder in the earth. Okay, and the believers have been awakened to follow their voice. All right, which are the sheep. Okay, the hopeful elect, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. And he's speaking to Esau. Okay, he's speaking to Esau because Esau is his agenda to ruin the ministry, to ruin our connection with our power. Okay, neither shall any man. That's Esau. If you're in the spirit, he's talking about Esau, man. Okay. And it says, my Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. Okay? So when you go here, let's go to this word hand. Okay? And you're speaking of the devil Esau when it says, Esau, his enchantments are not strong enough to overwhelm the elect. Okay? The elect are predestined to win. Okay, and you go into this word hand, okay, in the Greek. Okay.
Strong's G 5495. Chayer. Chayer.
All right, Chayer. Okay. And when you go into it, jumping down, it says in determining, get to the point, it says in determining and controlling the destinies of men. You see? So Yahweh Bashem Shai, okay, has the destinies of men in his control. Esau doesn't control, okay, how it turns out for the elect. And even the 2/3 are given over, to be destroyed. Well, the Lord set that up. All right. It's not Esau's choice on who's the 2/3 and who's the elect. So the Heavenly Father, all right, through Yahweh Shai, controls the destinies of men. Okay. And Esau, Edom, he doesn't have any authority of the Most High. That's why Yahweh Shai told him, verse 29 again says, my Father which gave them me. So the elect was given to Yahweh Shai from the beginning, and they was his forever. All right. That's why the elect will follow Yahweh Shai whithersoever he goeth. That's why when we heard that voice, when we heard this doctrine coming through, the prophets, okay, we began to follow, okay, because we belong to Yahweh Shai, okay, and it's in us to follow the voice of Yahweh Shai, okay, which is the scriptures, man, okay. It says, my Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand, man. And let's throw a shot at Esau. Esau, he ain't got no weight on him, man. Okay, the right hand always, outweighs the left. Okay, and we're seeing it happening now, and that's why you see the left failing, okay, and the right rising, man. Okay, Esau was falling. Okay, so let's go here, real quick. Yep, it says Ecclesiastes 5:8. It says, if thou seest the oppression of the poor and the violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Okay, so this is why the Most High is called, his title, one of his titles is the Most High. All right, it's the Most High that you can get when it comes to power, authority, okay, dominion. It doesn't get any higher than him. Okay, so what Esau Edom is doing, all right, is irrelevant, because the only thing that's going to stand is the counsel of Yahweh Bashim Shah. Okay, these devils, everything that they're attempting to do is finna fail. Okay, everything that they're on, and the Lord got this devil all over the place. He don't know. He trying to go to war with Iran. He trying to do civil unrest in America. He trying to go to war with Russia, China. Nigga, all he's trying to bring out the sea hill. He trying to get the data centers. He need so many resources, to get his data centers up and running. There's a waiting list for these companies to get data centers, man. He's all over the place, man. And this is why you go to Psalms 2. I'm gonna go here and end it. So lock you for the short live screen, but time caught up with me. You ready to go to camp. But you go to Psalms 2:1, it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Okay, and we're seeing the heathen rage, okay, which that word regash, is the Hebrew word for rage, and it goes into conspire or to plot. Okay, so all the things that this devil is conspiring and plotting and trying to do is working against him, man. Okay, matter of fact, I see y'all brothers. Yeah, it'll mess with everything, But Esau's a goddamn idiot. The brother asked, ain't they gonna mess with the ocean if they tamper with the moon? He's a child. That's why scripture say, woe to thee, O land, when thy prince is a child. Because child don't think about consequences, they just do shit. Okay? That's why you gotta constantly monitor a child, because a child just do things. They don't understand consequences. Okay? So Esau is a child in rulership. But he don't give a damn. But this is Job 14:5. It says, seeing his days are determined, it's from the brother Yahweh. The number of his months are with them. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass, man. So Esau is not going to go a second beyond, all right, what's allotted for him to rule. And the Lord is not going to allow him to tamper with things that he's not been given. All right. See, the Lord has given this man certain things, resources and the money and the influence. And there's certain things that the Lord has given this man jurisdiction over. And there's a lot of things that the Lord hasn't given this man. Okay. And he can't tamper with it. He hasn't even tapped into the ocean. He hasn't tapped into like 5%, 10% of the ocean, only so much percentage of the rainforest. All right, the ice, the things that are frozen. There's certain things, there's a lot of things that he's not privy to, So reading this, I say let's see, Proverbs 19:21 said, there are many, this is brother Yahweh, it said, there are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord there shall stand. And Esau's mind has many devices, what his plan, 2030 and all these different things, digital, future, AI future, and all these different things that he has planned, but it's in vain, because the only thing that's going to stand is the counsel of the Lord. Okay. Esau, he's going to get to a certain point. All right. That's why you read this Psalms 2:2 said, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Okay, and this devil, he wants to do away with, the authority of the Most High in the earth. The devil, his mind, his new world order is him taking, the will from the Most High and him being fully in control of everything and everyone, creation, people, okay, more control over money and the resources. You see, this is what the devil is trying to do. He's trying to write the Most High out the script. He's trying to write Israel out the script. Okay, this devil has a hell of a test, man. You got to think about what this devil is trying to pull off. And this is why verse 4 says what it says. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, man. This is hilarious to the Most High. That Esau is even attempting this, man. But Esau's new world order is the Most High's entertainment. This is the Most High's entertainment. This is the king's entertainment. Esau trying to pull this off. And it said the Lord shall have them in derision, then, which is in mockery. Then shall he speak unto him in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yeah, he's gonna stop playing with Esau, man. Speak to the devil in his wrath, man. Okay. You see, he's laughing at him. All right. But then he's gonna stop playing with Esau, speak to him in his wrath. All right. He's gonna cause World War III and send back Yahushua, man. Okay. It says, and vex them in his sore displeasure, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. Okay, and who's his king? Yahushua. Okay, just as you have the devils. They'll set up the leaders that they want in certain countries. Where the Lord's going to set up the ruler that He wants, and that's Yahushua. Okay, the everlasting King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So there was a point. I say, gotta get ready, boogie down the camp. But Lord will, y'all brothers, all right, and y'all sisters, edified once again. We'll give all praise on and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.